You were taught to chase it. A softer couch, a warmer room, a stable job, a predictable life. And so you did. You followed the map they handed you. Study hard, work harder, settle down, find peace. But somewhere along the way, something strange happened. You stopped feeling alive. You weren't in danger. You weren't failing. In fact, you had more than enough. More time, more entertainment, more things. But still, a quiet ache stirred in the background, whispering when the lights went out. Is this it? Because here's the secret no one tells you. Comfort doesn't liberate you. It lulls you. It doesn't ask you to grow. It doesn't test what you're capable of. It just offers you a warm seat and a slowly dying fire. You don't realize it's a trap until the bars are too soft to notice. No alarms, no walls. Just a gentle pull toward a life that's small, safe, and shrinking. And this is where it begins. The slow erosion of desire, the disappearance of hunger, the death of depth. You mistake it for peace, but it's sedation, because the deeper truth is this. Comfort, when pursued without meaning, becomes a cage that teaches you to forget you were ever free. In the next moments, we're going to open that cage, not by force, but by sight, because once you see it, you can never unsee it. It doesn't break you. It seduces you. That's why you don't notice it. Comfort wraps itself in soft fabric and soothing sounds. It feeds you dopamine, praise, predictability. And slowly, it makes you forget what it felt like to be hungry for something more. You don't wake up one day in chains. You wake up numb, not in pain but in a fog, a dullness, a quiet absence of meaning, and that is far more dangerous, because suffering will wake you up. But comfort lulls you into sleep with your eyes open. We think of prisons as punishment. But what if the real prison is the one that offers pleasure while it starves your soul? You stop chasing dreams, not because you've failed, but because you've convinced yourself you no longer care. You stop creating, not because you're empty, but because the world made it so easy to consume. This is the hidden design, a cage so gentle you thank it. You defend it. You fear leaving it more than staying inside. Carl Jung warned, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. And comfort is the perfect shield. It keeps you safe from growth, from risk, from truth. But the real cost? It's your potential. The most tragic thing isn't a life cut short. It's a life that never tried to begin. There's a moment, quiet, terrifying, when you realize you've built a life you no longer recognize. Not because it's broken, but because it's too intact, too smooth, too still. Like a house where no one truly lives anymore. You wake up one day and everything looks the same. But you don't feel the same. You're restless, unfulfilled, and you don't know why. This is the crack, the fracture in the illusion. And though it whispers at first, it grows louder with every ignored instinct. You try to fix it with more pleasure. Another series. Another snack. Another scroll. But nothing sticks. Because nothing real is being touched. This is the moment most people turn back, because waking up hurts. It demands you face the weight you've been avoiding. The boredom that isn't boredom, it's grief. The fatigue that isn't physical, it's existential. You realize that everything comfort promised, peace, fulfillment, contentment, was a lie without purpose underneath it, and suddenly the cage appears. Not outside you, but inside, built from every choice made in fear, every risk never taken, every dream postponed until it's safe. But here's the quiet truth. You're not broken for feeling this. You're waking up, and awakening is violent, not to the body, but to the mask you've worn for too long. The fire you've been missing? It wasn't stolen. It was smothered by silence, by sedation, by safety. Now, it's beginning to breathe again. The moment you see the cage, you can't pretend it isn't there. You feel it in your routines, in the excuses you whisper to yourself, in the life you've outgrown but keep clinging to because it's familiar and safe and quiet. But aliveness was never meant to be quiet. It screams, it burns. It pulls you toward discomfort, not to punish you, but to wake you. Stepping out means letting go of the identity that was built to please, survive, and avoid pain. It means saying no to the numbing, saying yes to the stretch, the silence, the risk. You won't be applauded for this. There's no parade for those who reject comfort in pursuit of depth. But somewhere inside, something sacred stirs, a spark, a growl, a wild remembering. And that is the beginning of your return. Not to the life you had, but to the self you buried beneath ease. You begin to show up differently. You speak when your voice shakes. You sit in the discomfort and let it sculpt you. You stop running and start feeling. Start living. Not perfectly, but truly. And one day, without realizing it, you will look back at your old life. The padded one, the soft one. And you will whisper, not with regret, but with reverence. Thank God I left the cage, before it buried me alive. CTA. The life you want won't meet you in comfort. It waits where you're finally willing to be free.